round of the INET NBL Championship season, and a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Adelaide for the great rivalry between two NBL powerhouses. That's right, the Adelaide 36ers, and of course, from WA, the Perth Wildcats. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Carfino, joined by Adelaide's all-time leading scorer, Brett Maher. And Adelaide, they really need to get it going right now because they feel like they're a top 4 team. Everybody in the league feels like they're a top 4 team, except for Sydney, because they're right now in that spot, that enviable spot of a playoff position.
Yeah, very much so. And they can't let that gap get too big. How close this competition is, it's going to be hard to pull that back. So they had a bit of a speed hump last weekend, 2 losses. Hopefully they can get back on track with a win against Perth today.
All right, Brett, why don't you take us through the 36ers?
Yeah, the 36ers will be starting at guard with Jason Cadee and Adam Gibson. Stevie Way will be running the lanes in the 3 spot, and down low inside the 2 twin towers, Luke Schencher and Daniel Johnson.
And the 36ers, this is a team that has a lot of talent, no doubt about that. And the Perth Wildcats, they have trouble with the Adelaide 36ers. They've beaten them twice already this year. And let's have a look at the starting lineup for the Perth Wildcats. And it's a very good backcourt, of course, in Kevin Lish and Damian Martin. In the front court, they'll go with Sean Redditch, who started off the season in a bit of a slump, but he's back in the starting lineup. Mike Dunigan is the player that everybody will be looking to watch. He plays with a lot of energy on Friday night against Wollongong, and probably the most versatile player in the league is Cam Tovey. But an important game for the Perth Wildcats as well, because they're trying to keep par with the New Zealand Breakers, who dropped one last night to the Sydney Kings.
Yeah, they're starting to get a bit of a roll. They look good on Friday night. Dunigan looked very good, filling that hole of Matthew Knight going out. I thought they might struggle there, but he looks good, and I think they're going to be tough to beat today.
All right, who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, I think Perth. Adelaide's had a bit of sickness run through the team all week, so they might be a little bit flat, and not a good team to come up against when you're feeling flat.
All right, it's going to be a close one. Always a great rivalry between these teams. First quarter action from Brett Maher Court here in Adelaide, right after the break.
Everybody hands go up, and they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
How would you like to?
When the red light hits, you gotta say.
Welcome back. You are watching this great rivalry between the Adelaide 36ers and the Perth Wildcats. Running the sidelines for us this afternoon is Ian Shuttleworth. And tell us about this special game we got this afternoon.
It certainly is. This isn't an average game, and this here is the reason why. It is the Catalini Cup. Before each season starts, Adelaide and Perth officials sit down, they pick a game where they'll contest this trophy. First up last year, the Sixers won. Today, second time round, can the Wildcats get the job done? It's named after Martin Catalini, of course. He won championships with both of these clubs. It doesn't stop there, though. There's also the Paul Rogers Medal. That is for the game MVP. Boys, there is plenty up for stake this afternoon.
There sure is. I mean, this is a great place as far as basketball is concerned, Brett. Your name is on the court. It's Brett Maher Court. Mark Davis has a statue up there. They've got the Catalini Cup. They do a great job of really glorifying their past.
Yeah, definitely. And Martin Catalini has been great for both clubs. He won a championship early in his career with Perth. He came over, won some championships here, 2 championships here, and then finished off with a championship in Perth. So very successful player. I thought the cup might have been more in the shape of a big nose, but which is what we always used to give him grief about. But very well deserved to have that in honour of Martin Catalini.
First possession going to the Perth Wildcats. They turn it over with a 3-second violation. First pressure is evident from the early stages of this game on how they want to play.
It's really interesting to see how certain teams match up very well on each other, and Adelaide just seem to match up well on Perth. They've got the 2 wins out of 2 so far this season, and it'll be interesting to see how today pans out.
Cadee with his floater short. He gets his own rebound and puts it up and back in for 36ers, and they get the first score.
Intimidating sight there, seeing Michael Dunigan coming straight at your first play, reaching those long arms up.
Tovey pulls the trigger, and it's another guard pulling down an offensive rebound, and Robbins. Gibson strips it from him, gets it to head to Way, another former Perth Wildcat. Cadee again with the floater, this time it's good. Jason Cadee 4, Perth Wildcats nothing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with the matchups there on Perth's end. Cadee seems to be left wide open in the first 2 plays of the game. So
Michael Dunigan knocks down the mid-range jump shot, telling you a little more about him as we go on. No call. Man, he said don't flop. I thought he got hit pretty good.
he looked like he got hit very solidly in the chest there. I thought he may have had a foot in the circle, but Adelaide lucky there to get away with one.
Really told him no flop. Man. Well, if that's the flop, we're going to see a lot of warnings throughout the league. And I hate the flop. Lish. That's off the mark. Adam Gibson kicks it ahead to Cadee. Unsportsmanlike as Stephen Way had a clear path to the basket and Brad Robbins grabs his jersey.
They're right in front of Scott Butler there. He could not call it, as we see on the far side of the court, away from the ball, just getting held up.
You tell me how you play the ball.
Hey, that's probably one you should probably not argue on. You want to save the ones that are close.
Yeah, very much so. Stevie Wago on the line, a good free throw shooter. He's going to be in the three-point shootout in the upcoming All-Star game, so we'll see how he goes in that as well.
You know, Scott Butler talking to Brad Robbins about that last call. He's joined in officiating this game with Nathan Durant and also Mike Leyland. Adelaide slow it down. Jason Cadee very good off that high ball screen. Throws it away. Robbins steps into the passing lane and lays it in. Schencher down low. A real crazy looking jump hook from Luke Schencher.
Yeah, just off balance there. He got pushed early, never regained his balance, and also good help there from the weak side with Sean Reddish coming over.
Cam Tovey over the top. Getting a look at Brad Robbins getting into the passing lane. Perth in a 2-3 zone now.
Yeah, Perth starting in that half-court trap with a 1-2-2, dropping back to a 2-3 zone as Luke Schencher getting called for foul on the weak side with Jason Cadee cutting off.
Just trying to seal that bottom man in on the over-the-top pass on the skip. Perth in attack as usual. Dunigan with the same mid-range jump shot. This time comes up short. Gibson tries to get it back to Schencher. Dunigan with those long arms mirroring the basketball throws Luke Schencher into the cheerleaders.
It's a long way down for the big fella. Now, I think Luke's just got to be really strong with the ball. It looks like Dunigan's going to play him hard, have a slap at the ball. If he can regain his balance, he's going to get a few opportunities in close.
Very physical out there, and the long rebound going to Gibson. He'll take it back out. Johnson going left, loses the handle. Tovey throws it ahead to Reddish. Gibson gives him a bump. That'll count.
That's a strong finish there. He got a good hard bump from Adam Gibson early on and was able to just kiss it off the glass. Great finish there by Sean Reddish.
Well, I was just about to say what a good foul that was. As he bumped him there off balance. That's a terrific shot.
They really regrouped well, didn't they? And that's a talent to be able to do that. A lot of players will just lose their balance and continue and throw up a bad shot, but he was able to really regroup there and get a nice looking shot.
Reddish with his own rebound lays it up and in. Perth scored the last four to tie this thing up. Gibson, one bounce dribble going left. That's good. Ooh, we got some words for Dunigan as well. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, real nice up fake too there. Dunigan obviously coming for the block on the three-point shot, and Gibson with a great option.
Kadee with a perfect pass to Adam Gibson. Adelaide in transition. They score the last 4.
Yeah, nice pass, wasn't it? Just drew the defense enough to just squeeze it through the gap there. Easy finish there for Gibson.
Steve Way with his hand up quickly. Charged with the personal. This is why we like Adelaide. Mitch Creek coming in for Jason Kadee. Kadee with the strong start, and the depth of Adelaide putting in a super athlete like Mitch Creek. I can't wait to see him in the dunk contest.
We saw him throw down a windmill in warm-ups here, and both looked at each other. He is something special on the athletic front. And he may get a few more minutes now with CJ Massingale getting let go through the week this week here in Adelaide, and that may free up a few extra minutes there for Mitch Creek to get out on the court.
Gibson. You just can't leave him open like that. Lish in attack mode. Dunigan with the contact. He'll go to the line.
What I've really liked from the little bit I've seen of Dunigan so far, the game on Friday and tonight, he's very aggressive, he's full of energy, and he's going to look to take it strong to the bucket, so he's going to get fouls going to the bucket.
Yeah, not a whole lot of finesse. You know, in the game he had on Friday, and like you say, just super energy he brings to the game, and that length. He is very long. Can't teach that.
Yeah, definitely. I think he may have got lucky in a couple of his shots on Friday, fade away, getting fouled, hook shots, some lucky ones on the break. But if you're putting in the energy and the effort, you're going to get rewarded at some stage. So he's going to be exciting to watch for the rest of the season, no doubt.
Wagstaff in. They get it into Dunigan. Good strong move. Average looking jump hook, though. Never looked like it was straight. Gibson. Nice pass to Mitch Creek. Loses the handle. Knocked out of his hands, apparently, by Dunigan. Couple of substitutions. Tovey replaced by Greg Heyer. Down low to Petrie. Adelaide turn it over.
Heyer was one of the players that came on last time here in Adelaide against the 36ers that was able to make a bit of a difference. He spot up, hit that 15-foot jumper.
Plenty more physical play here from Brett Marquardt in Adelaide. We'll be back with the Catalini Cup right after the break. Welcome back. Plenty of action here at the Adelaide Arena. 36ers doing their thing. Up 14-9 on the Perth Wildcats, and boy, they just do not look intimidated at all going against the Perth Wildcats. And Perth can intimidate teams, and this is a team, like you say, Adelaide match up well against them, but normally Perth's pressure really rattles another team. Adelaide just come out with some kind of blind optimism.
They do, don't they? And what I've noticed when they're playing against Perth is that they do set their screens a lot better. The guys are coming off a lot better, and they've also started the game shooting the ball a lot better than what they have the last couple of games. First halves have been fairly average from outside. They've started the game well with both Adam Gibson and Kadee hitting some outside shots.
Martin. Seen a lot of Dunigan. Wagstaff with a shot. No, he didn't make that shot. It's easy to say that's not a good shot when it doesn't go in, but that's he just pulls the trigger early after a timeout. Gibson finds Mitch Creek. Boy, he found him at the last second, too, and jumped in the air. Really didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, real lucky there. Mitch Creek stepping into the right position there. And that can be a talent as well, getting to the right spot and getting those passes. Nice pass there in the end by Adam Gibson.
Ian Shuttleworth on the sideline as Damian Martin's off the mark.
Well, I stuck my head in the Sixers at that time out there, huddled well. They couldn't be happier, obviously, with their start. Happy with the rebounding. Bit surprising, though. The crowd's not getting into this game too much. The Sixers have been under pressure all week.
Fouls on Greg Hire away from the ball. Hire's not happy with it.
Adelaide.
Look.
Adelaide are going to have to start blocking out down that end. Perth, they're getting 2-3 options. They're going to struggle if they're going to be giving that up all night tonight.
Gibson to Creek. Perfectly timed pass from Adam Gibson. Adam Gibson looks like he's having some fun out there.
He is, isn't he? I think he enjoys these real physical up-tempo guards that he gets to play against. He seems to live for these sorts of games. And Mitch Creek relishing in the extra minutes here that he's been given already so far in this game.
I mean, that's what he needs to do is the 36ers, as you saw in the statistics, shooting just a great percentage. Mitch Creek is just a great athlete and a slasher. Just keep moving without the ball like that, his teammates will find it. Whistle away from the ball.
Blue team, 23. Grab his arm, up top.
That one's on Mitch Creek, as you heard Scott Butler explain. Let's see if we can see it away from the ball. Yeah, just grabbing Jesse Wagstaff.
A bit unnecessary there. I thought their defense up to that point was quite good. That helped Perth outside the three-point line, and just unnecessary to have to grab him there.
And you would think, okay, well, it's no big deal. It's early in the game, but you know, this could have been an opportunity for another stop because Perth was struggling to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, very much so.
Foul like that when the team's in the bonus. Good teams, sometimes that's all it takes for them to get back in a roll. Crosswell into Johnson. Johnson with a nice spin. Reverse layup, did everything but missed the shot.
Yeah, nice move, but unfortunate finish there for Daniel Johnson.
Martin again outside the three-point line. Well, that 1 year, 2 seasons ago, Damian Martin was shooting the basketball extremely well from the three-point line. Seemed to lose all the confidence. Hire steps in, gets it back to Bartlett. Good hands by Petrie, saves the basket.
Yeah, great recovery there by Petrie after the turnover to come back and get the block. He did. He had a great couple of seasons there. I know his last year at West Sydney and then coming over to Perth, those probably 3-4 years he was shooting very well from outside the arc, and may have just dropped a little bit of confidence from outside the arc at the moment.
Boy, Perth will give you an opportunity to rack up some points against them because, in my opinion, that's another bad shot. What, 3 passes and Everard Bartlett, 2 feet outside the three-point line on the move.
Both teams now in foul trouble too, so some of these silly fouls that they're giving away are just giving up easy points for the opposition too.
Well, you start talking about the better teams in the league, and of course, Perth Wildcats are always in that conversation. But I know New Zealand Breakers lost last night to Sydney, and Sydney played very well. But New Zealand, they don't seem to have those ups and downs in a game. You can beat them, but they're not going to beat themselves. And Andre Lamanis does a great job. The Perth Wildcats, their biggest strength is also their biggest weakness. They will jack up some poor shots, but they will knock down some poor shots as well.
I just don't think Perth are as deep in the guard positions as what they've been maybe in the last couple of years. So they've still got Damian Martin, they've still got Lish, but I think it drops away a little bit in the decision-making after that and the Perth team, whereas you look at New Zealand, they've still got some really good decision-makers in the backcourt, and I think that really helps to keep that consistency.
And Perth are that 1 year older, and Brad Robbins doesn't look healthy. Damian Martin doesn't look healthy. And when you play with that intensity as Nathan Crosswell shoots an air ball, that thing had to just slip out of his hand or something.
We always bring up his shooting technique, but that just seemed to come out of the hand badly. Nothing to do with his technique, just a bad release on that one.
And this is 2 straight. Cam Tovey takes it out of Petrie's hand.
Petrie, one of the main players, Adelaide, that's been struck down with this illness where they've been sick all week. Both Petrie and Cadee have probably been hit the worst.
Tovey steps in, gives it to Barlin. That's a better looking shot because he had his feet set.
Blue, 17.
That one's on Petrie.
7. Hold.
Yeah, I just had a quick look at, as we get another look at his hold. It's always hard to tell who's holding who. When the guys, when they get that hook on each other, it's always hard to tell. I just had a quick look at Nathan Crosswell's shooting percentage from the free throw line throughout his career. It's 72, so, I mean, that's not great, but it's not bad either. You wouldn't expect him to ever shoot an air ball from the foul. He must have slipped.
Yeah, had to have slipped out. And he is fairly consistent, as he says, 70s. A lot of players would take that.
Wildcats get those free throws, put them down 6. Another good cut this time by Stephen Way. And Adelaide need to cut back on the fouls. Last 4 points coming from the line for the Wildcats. Extra pass to Tovey. Bartlett from the three-point line. That's no good. Scoots out of bounds.
He's got the shooter's mentality anyway. That's 3 now that Bartlett's thrown up. Probably the last 2 haven't been too bad of shots. They've moved the ball around quite well. The first one was way too early in the offense, but...
Well, Rob Beveridge gives these guys the green light. If they're open, he wants them to shoot, expects them to shoot it. Crosswell to Cadee. Back to Crosswell. Oh, that was really never going to work. They have no room on the baseline. Kept going to it. Back to Perth, though. You know, Greg Heyer in college wasn't allowed to shoot from the perimeter. He comes to Perth, and he's encouraged to shoot it. Tovey. Perth just can't buy one from the perimeter. Tovey to Redditch. Nice pass by Sean Redditch to Jesse Wagstaff. Very unselfish.
Real nice pass. I didn't think I'd ever see Sean Redditch pass it up from that close to the bucket, but that is a real nice pass there around the back to Jesse Wagstaff.
Maybe the defender was as shocked as we were, because he went for that fake fully. Petrie with a strong board kicks it ahead to Crosswell. Tough pass to handle for Creek.
Yeah, Adelaide just need to settle it down a little bit here, get themselves into a decent set.
Redditch creating some space, and that was a tough cover for Crosswell. We'll have a delay of game warning. No, it's not a warning.
Another nice finish there by Sean Redditch. Looked like Crosswell was going to take a flop there, and probably remember that earlier play in the game where it didn't get called. Wise decision not to go down.
Yeah, good heads-up decision, just understanding how the game is being refereed. The intensity of this game is ridiculous. Good heads-up play by Redditch not to touch it again. That was ugly, though. Adelaide with 9 turnovers already in this game. 9. There's another one by Perth. Way to Cadee, to Crosswell, back to Way, and he's fouled.
A little bit overpassing there by Adelaide on the break. Got a little bit lucky in the end. Stevie Way getting fouled on the finish, but probably could have taken the shot 2 passes earlier.
Yeah, that could have been a layup. That could have been a layup. You know what this game, and it really hasn't taken shape yet, but this game in the early stages, it seems like both teams are trying to establish a their physical superiority, which has maybe been successful for Adelaide in the first two games. Well, it's been a physical encounter here at the Adelaide Arena. 36ers on top after the first, 23-17 in the Catalina Cup.
You can bomb.
Welcome back. The Adelaide 36ers, after one quarter play, on top over their arch rivals of Perth Wildcats, 23-17. And they continue to dominate in this matchup. The 36ers have won 7. As you have a look at the turnovers, 9 turnovers for the Wildcats. Man, you can't expect to, boy, that would be a record-breaking romp on turnovers. I'm sorry, for the 36ers.
Yeah, there's two big factors, Steve. Adelaide are on 9 turnovers as opposed to Wildcats on 3. That's the only thing keeping Perth in this game at the moment. Adelaide is shooting at 69.2%. They are very hot at the moment. Whereas Perth Wildcats shooting at only 24% after the first quarter. You're not going to stay in too many games at 24%. And as we said, the only reason they are is that Adelaide's coughing the ball up 9 times so far.
All right, Shuts, what have you got for us?
Let's talk Perth at that quarter-time huddle. Coach Rob Beveridge was saying, look, boys, I don't like our defense. We're not being disruptive enough. You got to get a hand in there and cause some chaos at our defensive. And he said, boys, at the other end, offensively, know where your shooters are.
Boy, Kevin Lish, as Adam Gibson throws it away, gives it turnover number 10 for the 36ers.
I think the guy in the 10th row was free, but Stevie Way may have been a better option there.
On that last score by Lish, boy, he sure cleared out Adam Gibson. Robbins, man, that was ugly. Lish, little hesitation, tough shot. Whew. That's out.
Kevin Lish so hard to guard. Looks like Perth are going to a 1-4 set, just clearing it out for him at the top, letting him go one-on-one. And he is so hard to guard because he has that three-point shot. He has a nice pull-up jumper, and he can take it all the way to the rack, as we've just seen. But I'd like to see a little bit more ball movement just to get the defense moving a little bit first, and then maybe get him at the top and let him go to work.
As you see some of these shooting stats, we'll have to go to plan B. As Kadee. You know I don't like the floater, but I sure don't mind him shooting. He gets that thing rolling. Redditch on the mismatch over the top of Adam Gibson. Gibson holds his ground and gets the stop. Petrie on a good seal and a good feed from Adam Gibson.
Yeah, real nice seal under the bucket there by Anthony Petrie. Saw he had Lish on his back. And nice recognition there by Adam Gibson to get him the ball.
These two are going at it, Adam Gibson and Kevin Lish. Robbins finds Redditch. Robbins from the three-point line is off the mark. Dunigan on the offensive glass is fouled by Anthony Petrie. 36ers, despite causing or committing 10 turnovers, are up 10.
Just can't buy a bucket at the moment. What's the rebound count? Is it 10 for Perth? I would have thought it'd be more than that, just for the fact that offensively they just seem to be getting rebound after rebound.
Kadee on the deflection by Adam Gibson. Adelaide have scored the last 6 to go out to a 31-19 lead over the Perth Wildcats. We'll be back.
Christmas can be...
Cause I make you
Welcome back, and I know you've seen the shooting statistics that have popped up on the screen with our graphics, but well, I can't believe how poor the Perth Wildcats are shooting the basketball. They're 0 for 9 outside the three-point line and just 7 of 30 from the field.
I think two problems are they're not getting much movement before they're taking the shots. It's just throwing inside, standing still, and then if they get some help, they'll chuck it out and shoot a three. They're not getting cuts through. They're not moving the defense, and they're not shooting well from outside the arc, which doesn't help that.
And you just saw the breakdown of their points. They're just 19 here in the second quarter. And it is a miracle how close they've been able to stay with all those turnovers for Adelaide. Ian Shuttleworth.
Well, Rob Beveridge, the head coach for the Wildcats, broke it down pretty simply in that timeout. He said, boys, we just need some enthusiasm. If you're going to be out there and you want to play, give me some enthusiasm.
Yeah, but Brent, I think it's more than enthusiasm. It's just a lot of standing around, like you pointed out. Robbins with the score. They get the score, but they threw the ball down into Brad Robbins, who's, you know, he's all right post player, but then 4 guys just standing around. No cuts coming off of that, no movement.
Yeah, it seems just very stagnant down the Perth offensive end. A nice take, though, by Brad Robbins. He sees he's got the size advantage physically over Kabir and was going to take him to the bucket all the way there.
Missing the free throw. Kadee eventually gets it over to Gibson. Perth just trying to turn the screws defensively, get a couple of stops. That's off the mark. Eventually Dunigan with some assistance from Redditch on that rebound. Redditch turning the corner. Draws the contact, he'll go to the line.
Yeah, just half a body step slow. I think Lushenko on this occasion didn't quite get across in front, coming in from the side, and that's why he got called for the foul.
He'll go to the bench. Replaced by Daniel Johnson. And Perth, this is another thing that Perth do, because they shoot so many shots from the three-point line and jack it up from the perimeter. You know, there's a lot of peaks and valleys in their game. They do a great job of staying in games when they're not shooting well.
Yeah, they generate all that at the defensive end. They're 0 of 9 from outside the arc so far. So clearly they have to go back inside. So we see another turnover by the 36ers.
Redditch off the mark. Robbins trying to keep it alive. Goes down. Goes into his teammate's bench. Just crushed a chair.
Adelaide, on the other, once they break this defensive pressure, they seem to be settling down, getting some good options, and hence shooting at 72.2% at the moment.
Way to Johnson. One bounce dribble going left. Dunigan with the board. I would imagine if he's in position to grab a board, not too many people are going to get it from him. Good D by Johnson to get him to change his shot. Way upstairs to Johnson, is blocked by Redditch.
Nice pass there by Stevie Way. Put it up high for the big fella to go grab, and not bad defense there from Sean Redditch. The best he could do under the circumstances, coming through late to try and get the block there.
Yeah, trailing the play. That's why it's so important. Even if you're not in the play, to get yourself into it. It's automatic, too, for Johnson.
I think for the people that watched the game on Friday night, seeing Damian Martin chase down the play and get one of the blocks that he got in that game against Wollongong, he has to be, I think, one of the best at blocking on the break. Unbelievable timing.
Yeah, he does have a great time. And just a relentless pursuit of the ball. Redditch. That's a foul on Redditch, a legal screen.
Not sure about that one, Steve. I think Adam Gibson was always going to try and barge his way through that pick no matter what happened, and I thought that Redditch may have had his feet set there and could be unlucky with that one.
Johnson comes short from the three-point line. Lish, little inside-out move. These two are going at it.
It's fun to watch two guys that love the physicality going at each other.
And you know what I like? Neither one of them saying anything to other once the play breaks. They are clearly taking it personal. Both keeping their head, though. Offensive foul on Kevin Lish. Petrie. Adam Gibson back down to Petrie. Spin into the middle, fall away jump shots off the mark. Wagstaff reels it in off the backboard.
That's a bit of difference in the two offenses there, though, Steve. We saw it go in, come back out. We saw someone cut off. It went out. It went back in again. Much better looking offense than just throwing it in, everyone standing and letting the guard or the post person go to work.
That time to get it into Dunigan. Good spin move to the baseline. It was a good spin move, but it was kind of an erratic shot. Like, you know, you said very lucky to get a couple of them going on Friday. Now, if that one would have bounced in, that would have been lucky.
Yeah, it just seems, it doesn't seem like a soft finish on the end of it. It seems a little bit hard. If he can just put an extra little bit of soft touch on the end of his shots there in and around the bucket, I think he'll get more consistency.
Nice little shooting stroke. And get himself fouled and get to the line, you're going to get a positive result. But like you say, probably just a little bit more work on his finishing touches around the hoop with either hand. Get it up there soft, get a few more three-point plays.
We see the Wildcats in this 1-2-2 half-court press. Dropping back to the 2-3 zone. Not a bad tactic, I don't think, especially against this lineup Adelaide has out at the moment. Certainly worked for Sydney last week against Adelaide, but Adelaide's ball movement there was fantastic.
Martin. Truman. Bartlett, the shot clock winding down. Another tough shot by Perth, but this time Everard Bartlett shoots it with confidence and drills it. Kadee with a mismatch. Johnson settles for the jump shot. Creek tries to keep it alive, so does Way. Martin. Good hands by Adam Gibson. Crosswell comes in for Jason Kadee. Wagstaff catch and shoot outside the three-point line. That rims out.
0 of 10 now from outside the arc for the Perth Wildcats, shooting at 25.7%, and they're only down 8 points, which is encouraging for the Perth Wildcats fans.
Largely because of those 11 turnovers by Adelaide. Adam Gibson creates space for himself on that jumper. Leads back up to 10. Bartlett loses the handle. Somehow Truman picks it up. wasn't ugly, but they'll take it. It wasn't pretty, I should say, but they'll take it. Johnson. As Wagstaff reaches in, couldn't help himself.
Yeah, good foul, though, by Wagstaff. Didn't allow Daniel Johnson to get the ball up in the air, so we'll send him to the line.
Watch the hand come down. Try to stick it back up. Daniel Johnson likes to play against the Perth Wildcats as well. He's averaged 18.5 and 9 rebounds in the last 6 games against the Wildcats. He likes to see the old black, white, and red.
Yeah, I think he matches up well against the big man. He's got such versatility. Out to three-point line, he's got nice 15-footer as well. He can take them very quickly from 15 feet to the bucket.
Damian Martin wraps it around Daniel Johnson for a nice finish. Gibson finds Johnson.
Great pass there. Daniel Johnson getting in behind the defense. All the heads were turned there. Great pass there by Adam Gibson.
Get another look at that pass. Fires it down low. And I'm being overly critical, or if he waits and gets his balance a little more, that's a three-point play.
Yeah, and that's where we see what Sean Redditch did so well earlier in the game, able to take that bump, but then take it up strong and finish off. And that's probably an area that Daniel Johnson can improve, is the strength in and around the bucket. He's still quite light framed. Put on a couple of kilos and build on that strength aspect.
Very tough in other areas. Running the floor for one. Bartlett with the runner. Good strong move in transition. Daly back to Johnson. Goes up strong. Tip. And Mitch Creek over the top. Crowd won't like this.
Next marking, 2 shots at the other end.
Mitch Creek can't believe his eyes. He's still up to hear the result.
Call the foul and Mitch Creek over the back.
All right, let's listen. Scotty Butler saying, I'll talk to you about it later. We'll get another look. Mitch Creek. That's a terrible call.
That's a terrible call, isn't it? He had off complete right away. Higher, backed him underneath him, took him out.
Oh,
gets rewarded for it.
See, that's why you hear the crowd booing even louder now, because they watch the replay on the screen at the stadium. That is a terrible call. Crosswell gets it just in time to Creek.
Oh, nice block there by Dunigan on the athletic Mitch Creek.
I think he jumped twice really quickly. Dunigan down low. His jump hook is good, so doing it at both ends is Michael Dunigan. And Perth Wildcats score the last 5 to make it a 5-point game as they get back into it. 36ers still on top, 41-36. And that's impressive by first big man. That block was very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. Just straight up. Great block there. Runs, gets rewarded down the other end. A nice little turnaround jump shot. Perth at 33% from the field, and right in this game, only 5 points down.
Man, I wouldn't say they're shooting a blistering percentage, but it has picked up. They're shooting 25%.
It has. Neither team yet to connect from outside the arc as well. Adelaide 0 of 2, Perth 0 of 10. Not great outside shooting by either team. Adelaide's probably picked up a couple of 15 to 18 footers, but glad to see that increase in the second half.
Yeah, the top scorers for the game. Gibson and Kadee on 8, the backcourt for the 36ers with Mitch Creek coming off the bench for his 7. Redditch and Dunigan and Jesse Wagstaff, 8, 7, and 6 respectively for frontline players for the Perth Wildcats. And, you know, like you say, just drive from the perimeter, but the Wildcats 0 for 10 outside the three-point line, and Adelaide just 0 for 2. Both teams have been to the foul line 15 times. And Perth doing a great job of denying on that extended pressure. Adelaide having trouble getting it in. Ian Shuttleworth.
Well, Sixers head coach Marty Clark said, boys, we've got ourselves in a good spot, but I don't want you to get distracted by any calls made by the ref. Obviously, that one involving Mitch Creek had him up in arms, but he said composure is needed here into the half.
Great play there. Great play there by Mitch Creek, chasing down that board. Nice little pass over to Daniel Johnson for the finish.
Yeah, he needs to play with that type of energy. Coming up with offensive rebounds like that. A nice heads-up dish. Lish outside the three-point line. That's off the mark again. Gibson to Creek. He lays it up. Boy, that toss did Mitch Creek some good. He's not affected by that call at all. It's ignited him.
His confidence has risen. I saw him take off from the halfway line. He saw the opening, and just to see his change of pace, seeing 2 points on the end of it, he was lightning quick.
Wagstaff puts it on the floor, gives away a little bit of a bump. Crosswell with the rebound. Creek down low to Johnson on the mismatch over Hire. He's just too small in that matchup. He drills it. Adelaide just shooting it at a great pace, 58% from the field. As they come up just shy of the 50 mark here at halftime as the Perth Wildcats slow it down for the last shot. Wagstaff for 3. Yes, the Perth Wildcats finally get one to drop at the perfect time. And Crosswell from half court is a little bit short, but the 36ers take in a 47-39 scoreline here at halftime to take the lead. Shooting it at 56%, doing it how they want on the offensive end against the Perth Wildcats, who are normally very disruptive. Ian Shuttleworth has Jason Kadee.
Certainly do, Cuff, and Jason, can't ask much more than that in the first half.
No, it's a good start. I mean, after last weekend, we're a little disappointed with ourselves. It's been a tough week with a bit of sickness, but everyone's ready to go. We come out the way we wanted.
Fair to say that traditional physicality between Adelaide and Perth is definitely on show today.
Yeah, it is, and we expected that. That's the way they play. They're a good team, and our thing is to match that. When we play physical, we play well, so it's good for us.
Just a couple of times, though, you had the momentum, but you coughed up a couple of easy buckets.
Yeah, we did, and that's something we'll definitely talk about. I know Marty will mention it because we talked about momentum before the game, but get off to another good start second half and see where we can go with it.
Good luck in that second half. Mate. It is the Sixers leading by 8 points at half-time, and after the break, you'll have Steve Carfino and Brett Maher crunching those numbers and telling you why the Sixers lead on their home court.
Get down with it, down with it. Get down with it, down with it.
Welcome back. It's the Dodo Halftime Report, brought to you by Brett Maher and me, Steve Carfino. We're talking about this intense game between the Adelaide 36ers and the Perth Wildcats, and it has been a physical game. And like it was said there by Jason Kadee at halftime in his interview, usually the team that plays more physical seems to win.
Yeah, very much so. We expected it, and we've got it tonight. And Adelaide probably hasn't adapted as well going against that pressure. We've talked about their turnovers, 11 turnovers in the first half, a lot in that first quarter. That's the only thing keeping Perth in the game at the moment.
All right, well, let's check out the numbers and see if they match the way the game has been played by 36ers with those 47 points to 39 for the Perth Wildcats, both shooting it at a reasonable percent now that the Perth Wildcats have gotten back into it, but only 0 for 4 outside the three-point line and 1 of 12. Jesse Wagstaff connected on that three-pointer just before the halftime buzzer, but the statistic that isn't shown right there is the turnovers. 11 turnovers for the Adelaide 36ers, which has given the Perth Wildcats an opportunity to stay in the game, and that's what Perth do so well. Because at night, there are nights that they just don't shoot the basketball well, but their defensive pressure seems to keep them in most games.
Yeah, it does. They've been a little bit stagnant at the offensive end. I'd like to see a little bit more player movement, a little bit more ball movement. I'd like to see them start to get it inside and then play outside from there. So we'll see if they can make that adjustment in the second half.
A nice heads-up play by Petrie, but most of those Wildcats points are off the end of turnovers by the Adelaide 36ers, and then going to the foul line as well. Both teams have been to the foul line about the same amount of time. That's a super matchup that we're watching as well. Kevin Lish and Adam Gibson, and it is probably because of how physical it is and how determined these guys are to get the better of each other on that matchup.
Yeah, the two standout performers for me on the Adelaide side. Adam Gibson, I think he's relishing this physical contact. He loves that style of game. He's been able to get in the gaps, hit some outside shots, and also find some great passes, just the big guys down low. And Mitch Creek's the other one. I think he's relished his extra court time today. He's ran the lanes well, and he's sliced and diced through the defense.
Yeah, he has been a great acquisition for them, coming off the bench and showing that high energy. And when he's making cuts and slashings like that, he's a tremendous player. Ian Shuttleworth running the sidelines for us, and he's got a special guest, Martin Catalini.
I certainly have. It is the Catalini Cup, and when they first told you about that, Martin, they're going to name a trophy after you. What went through your mind?
I was a little surprised, to tell you the truth, but no, it's been great. It's been a good chance to come out here to Adelaide and catch up with Brett and a few of the guys we used to play with, so yeah, fantastic.
Now, we all know you for your basketball exploits. What do you do around town in Perth now?
Now I've joined the family business, and we make chemicals for mine sites and hospitality and things like that, so that's keeping me busy flying around the country now.
Do you miss the basketball and being involved in a team and all that?
I don't miss the playing or the training. I miss the atmosphere and the boys and the camaraderie you get after the game, but I don't miss playing.
What about today's game? Where do you see it going wrong for the Wildcats, and where do you see the Sixers doing a good job?
I think Adelaide have run on them pretty well. They're, you know, Mitch Creek's playing very well, and they're getting up and down. Perth is struggling with their tempo at the moment, but I think it'll be a different story in the second half. They'll tire a little bit, and Perth will get the big guys in the game a little bit more.
Your tip for the Catalini Cup?
I'd like to see Adelaide win this one. They need the win. I think at the moment they're looking pretty good.
Let's wait and see.
All right, mate.
Martin Catalini, of course, he started his career with the Perth Wildcats, a great player for the Adelaide 36ers as well. And basketball's in his great heyday in the 90s and the early 2000s. We'll be back with third quarter action here from the Adelaide Arena right after this.
This place is turning upside down and shaking all of our change out.
7:30.
Back, we're here in Adelaide as they are trying to put away their arch rivals, the Perth Wildcats, up 47 to 39 in this basketball game. But Perth, yeah, I guess, Brett, you could say in the first half they looked a little tired.
It looks, sorry, Steve, I was just putting my headset on. I missed that.
Sorry, I was saying the Perth Wildcats looked a little tired, but I'll get your opinion in a second. Ian Shuttleworth was working the sidelines. What do you got?
Well, Steve, tired, you make a good point. I just spoke to Rob Beveridge about why his team was down at the half, and he said, look, it was all about effort levels in that first half. Forget about matchups. He said, look, his boys played the toughest game of their season in that win over Wollongong on Friday night, and he said they were a bit flat after that, and they only got to Adelaide last night around 7:30. So he said he told them at the halftime break, have a crack.
Well, I think their effort levels haven't been too bad on the defensive end. They've clearly caused a lot of turnovers. Just getting the cuts through at the offensive end and getting the movement around, I think that's where they've probably been lacking.
I just think that's another bad shot, you know. And when you're struggling from the field, as Adam Gibson knocks another one down, and Adelaide aren't struggling from the field. But I mean, if you're struggling from the field, you just don't jack up another three.
Yeah, I think
that was early in the offense.
Very early, and that's the problem. They need to get those shots late in the offense if they have to, but get some good ball movement. At the moment, we're seeing a lot of dribbling of the ball, not enough passing, not enough penetration. We see a little bit here.
Good defense by Stephen Way. And again on the offensive glass is Michael Dunigan. Well, he has been a war on the boards down there for the Perth Wildcats, just keeping them in it. He's got 9 points. He's picked up 4 rebounds. Adam Gibson gets away with one there.
Yeah, Tovey had that one all the way, just knocked it out of play. Unlucky for him. But yeah, I just love the energy that Dunigan brings to the game. He's very, very active on the offensive boards.
Gibson. Well, he must be feeling it. It was 2 seconds on the shot clock, so he had to get it off. Dunigan turns it down. Redditch gets all the way to the rim, lays it up, gets the soft roll, and it drops. That looked like it wanted to kiss out.
Yeah, it did. But that's a good take there from Sean Redditch. A nice, hard attacking drive to the bucket.
Schencher looking for that high-low pass. That rattles out. Daniel Johnson can't reel it in. And Schencher knew what he was looking for, that mismatch, after Adelaide created a switch.
Yeah, Daniel Johnson had one of the smaller Perth guards, I think it might have been Kevin Lish, posted up, and everyone faded back. It was a nice little 10-foot jump shot for him there that just rimmed out.
Martin gets it to Redditch. Redditch puts it on the floor. Good footwork, and that'll count. Redditch going to work here in the early third.
Come out very aggressive, hasn't he? Every time he's caught it, he's looked to be aggressive, looked to take it to the basket, and it's paying dividends.
Perth have scored the last 6. Get the lead down to 4. Make that 3 as Sean Redditch completes the 3-point play. Johnson showing you his strength. It's his quickness.
Not a great shot on the end of that by Daniel Johnson. An off-balance little shot over Dunigan coming at him. It would have been probably a better decision just to pull that one out and get back into a good offensive set there.
Dunigan getting a body on Luke Schencher. Oh no, it's just in the back of Sean Redditch. Dunigan creating some space, little left-hand touch shot off the mark. As we mentioned earlier, probably the area of his game he needs to work on. Way trying to move it on quickly.
Nice hands in the commentary box there by Steve Carfino. Still got it.
I just didn't want to get embarrassed. Kadee. That one's off the mark. Petrie on the old glass. Tries to get rid of it. He does before he turns it over with a travel. Gibson. Looking for that mismatch. Daniel Johnson going left. Tovey reaches over the top. Ahead to Redditch. Good hands. That would have been an amazing shot if he was able to put that up soft.
Yeah, definitely running at that sort of speed to try and do a spin and finish off with soft touch. Extremely difficult.
Timeout on the floor. The Adelaide 36ers, who have already coughed it up 12 times and dodged a couple of bullets with some turnovers that didn't happen. Still on top, but only by 3, 49-46. Welcome back. As we mentioned, the Adelaide 36ers enjoy matching up against the Perth Wildcats. The 36ers have won 7 of their last 10 games against the Perth Wildcats. And, you know, you would normally say, oh, that's not a big surprise because Adelaide are very good historically. But they've only won 33% of their other opponents. So this is a team they like to see.
It is, isn't it? It's really weird because Perth have been so dominant, especially over the last couple of years. Adelaide hasn't been that that way. It's been down the other end of the ladder, but always seems to front up well against this Wildcats unit.
Ian Shuttleworth listening in on the timeouts. What have you got?
Marty Clark says to his players, boys, we just have to be tough. He says you've got to deal with the pressure. It doesn't always go the way you want it to, but you have to deal with it. And he said, boys, in simple terms, let's just make some good plays.
All right, Marty Clark. Some instructions as Dunigan picks up the foul. That was just a rip through and go hard.
It was, wasn't it? And Dunigan just gave him a little bit extra space too, trying to line up for that block. Getting his timing there, but just collecting Petrie on the arm on the way through.
Petrie, one of those tough covers, as he can shoot it from the three-point line. He is deceptively strong. I mean, he looks strong, but he is extremely strong.
Yeah, when Adelaide said that they were going to get Petrie into the lineup, I was extremely happy. He's one of the players that really has impressed me over the years, especially the last couple of years with his work ethic, just the style of player he is. He's very hard-nosed. Always gives 100%.
Damian Martin to Redditch. Well, I get the feeling that Perth are going to like this kid, Michael Dunigan. He just working like a madman down on the block for his position. Of course, we've seen him on the offensive glass.
Yeah, I was really worried for Perth when Matthew Knight went down. I really rate Matthew Knight as a player. So, once again, one of those guys that's hard-nosed, strong. You know you're going to get every night from him. I didn't know if they'd be able to replace him, but Michael Dunigan has come in and has been very good these first game and a half that he's played.
And Damian Martin, who hasn't done a whole lot offensively. Well, you wouldn't know it on that possession. He was going to the rim. Good strong play. Just moves Jason Kadee out of the way. Missing his free throws. Petrie kicks it ahead away, and Jason Kadee will slow it down for Adelaide. Johnson. Dunigan on his back.
Not great defense there from Dunigan, just having the slap and whack approach, and probably got away with a foul there. Lucky to get a piece of the ball as well.
Believe me, the next one will be, if there's any contact. The crowd in Adelaide just a little more quiet than normal. Johnson on the old glass is fouled by Toby. You know, when you are undersized on a mismatch, the ball goes up in the air. Well, he's got way on his back. But you know, when you're small down there and you've screened down, the ball takes a little extra bounce on the rim. That's the last thing you want.
Yeah, definitely. It was a nice little push that he gave to Dunigan just at the right time. Just got him at the right time, moved him out of the way to give him a clean run at that offensive board. And that's what the good O-board people do. They know where it's going to bounce, and they're able to chase it down and have those little tricky, nifty things to get the guys out of the way.
That's why big men can hang around for so long. You see that in the NBA as well. These centers, it takes so long to really understand that craft of, you know, when to hold, when to grab, when to bump in position. Toby lines up his three ball. Dunigan on the offensive glass, but then that touch lets him down.
Just a bit of balance there, too. He probably could have taken an extra second just to regain his balance. And
Petrie finds Johnson. Boy, Dunigan with that length running at Petrie. I think he was going to shoot that.
I think he was going to shoot it. Good choice in the end to chuck it over to Daniel Johnson. And good recognition, Daniel Johnson being able to draw that foul on Wagstaff as he was just letting him forward slightly.
Adelaide's field goal percentage dropping down to 50. Still very good. Still yet to connect on a three-pointer as well. Adelaide will get Mitch Creek back into the game, and why not? He's been nothing but good for them.
Yeah, he brings a lot of energy. Hopefully in the second half he can continue to slash, run the lanes in the open court as well.
Tovey on a curl cut, turns it down, gives it to Wagstaff. Much better movement from Perth.
Yeah, much nicer cuts there as well. It just freed up a bit of space for Wagstaff to operate as well, having those cuts come through. Takes away the extra defensive help.
Perth in their pressure. Good hustle to get back into the play by Cam Tovey. And there you go, same thing by Adam Gibson.
A good play there by Cameron Tovey. Went for the lunge initially, took himself out of the play, came back and was able to get it from behind.
Dunigan. He's looking for a guard. Bartlett looking to turn the corner. Ooh. Man, Michael Allen was looking at that like it would have counted.
I know. I thought he was going to go and one if that went down, but he did call it quite earlier that it was on the floor. And you see Everard Bartlett go to the line for two.
I've been surprised because Michael Allen's real consistent on that call, you know, whether it's a continuation. You know, it kind of varies around the league, different refs. But I would have been real surprised if he called that, and he didn't. He was saying all the time it was on the floor. Way fouled by Brad Robbins.
Good foul there by Brad Robbins, and also good by Stevie Way there. He's trying to draw the defender over. Dunigan was playing half and half, so it's a good decision to just keep taking it strong in the bucket.
Yeah, he got his money's worth, didn't he? He made sure he didn't get that thing up in the air for a three-point play. Dunigan goes to the bench. Rebounds. He's only got him for 6. He must have good 4 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, he's been tackling the open. Real strong tonight at that end of the court. I mean, I would have picked, without looking, I would have picked him at about 10 or 11 boards for the night, but
Robbins trying to make the way. That's a
good defense there by Mitch Creek. Good lateral movement. It was a good strong take there by Brad Robbins, but Mitch Creek up to the task.
Very good defense. Wagstaff with his hand in there. Adelaide looks to have settled down. Timeout on the floor, charge to the Perth Wildcats, who don't want to let this thing slip. It's a big game for them as well. As we mentioned, they're trying to stay in touch with league leaders, New Zealand Breakers, and of course Wollongong looking strong as well. And the Adelaide 36ers, as we also mentioned, trying to stay in touch with the top 4 and don't want to let that gap. Sydney King sitting at 8-5, which is a surprise to everybody because preseason poll, they were stone motherless last. And that was by the coaches. It wasn't like it was by people that didn't know what they were talking about. After the preseason tournament, that's what everybody thought of Sydney. So Shane Hill and the Sydney Kings doing a good job.
He's certainly getting the most out of the talent he's got there. You look at their list on paper, I don't think they're up near the top probably 2 or 3 teams, but what they are doing is playing their roles exceptionally well. They've got we keep on talking about it. They've got a great offense for guards. Ben Madgen and that are just lapping it up in that sense as well, and they're getting the most out of their players that they've got there at the moment, and that's all you can ask out of your players.
And you look at Adelaide's roster, and you look at the Kings roster, and I think that's what the Adelaide fans that I spoke to before the game were talking about. They're like, look, the Kings have they got no right being in 4th position ahead of us, but you know, the game isn't played on paper, and they're playing a good brand of basketball. Ian Shuttleworth, what have you got for us?
The Wildcats talking point was all about, boys, we've worked too hard to get back into this now to throw it away. It's discipline. This is the time when we switch on and concentrate.
This is true. They have done a great job getting back into the game, but sometimes when you start to execute and you lift the level of your game, it kind of takes a couple of minutes for your opponent, the Adelaide 36ers, to just switch back on. It looks like they've made their adjustments. The Wildcats have had their run in their mind, and they look comfortable. And I know it's not a sizable lead, but they still look like they're in command of the game, the 36ers.
Yeah, definitely. And it takes it out of you, too. When you're behind all game, making those charges, it constantly takes a bit of effort out of you to get back into the game.
Robbins. They're lobbing to Brad Robbins.
Yeah, interesting choice of person to lob it into, and probably got away with a couple of steps there on the catch as well, as Hire doesn't recognise the time on the clock and the shot clock expires.
And I don't think I ever didn't know that the shot clock, because you got a license to shoot it.
Exactly. You get it down to 3 seconds, you can take whatever shot you want, really.
That's fun. Creek. Crosswell. Good find. And a great finish by Creek. Again, active away from the ball. Nathan Crosswell throws him a dart. Extra pass to Everard Bartlett for 3. That's short. Creek with the board. Throws it ahead to Johnson for the jam.
That's great there by Adelaide. Daniel Johnson running down the lanes and able to finish off with a dunk.
Robbins, a couple of pivots off the glass, no good. Truman on the offensive rebound.
Perth just struggling to get it in. It's like this glad wrap over the bucket at the moment. They're getting a few shot opportunities. Mitch Creek lost another shot there.
Redditch taking his time after all of that chaos. The veteran slows it down, gets a poised. Big basket for the Perth Wildcats.
Big basket. There was a huge shift in momentum there. Adelaide getting a nice bucket. They're getting a breakaway dunk. The crowd starting to get back into the game. A nice crowd silencer by Sean Redditch.
Robbins throws a bad pass. Crosswell with the good hands working around that mismatch. 36ers are going to get Luke Schenscher back into the game. Adelaide just keep coming at you with talent. Johnson on the block, comes up short. Redditch off the mark, gets his own rebound. Stephen Way from behind. Picks up the board, and Adelaide get the stop.
Redditch a little disappointed with himself there. He had a nice strong move to the bucket, but unable to finish on the end of it.
Petrie on the drive. Perth just trying to pick up the intensity on the defensive hand. Just kind of, you know, just whacking away.
Adelaide's ball movement hasn't been bad. The last couple of offensive sets have just stayed on the right-hand side of the court. I'd like to see him swing it, get both sides of the court involved. If it comes back, that's great, but don't just keep bringing it down one side, keeping it down one side of the court.
Petrie good with the first. Getting that lead back up to 10. You could just feel it, couldn't you? I mean, Perth Wildcats worked so hard to get back in the game, but Even when the lead was just 5, like we mentioned, they seemed in control.
Certainly notice a drop when Dunigan goes out of the game. He just seems to add that extra energy. Great target down low, energy on the boards.
Higher runs it down. Truman. Redditch got to get it off. He does, just in time before the shot clock expires. Redditch turned the corner. Block, no call. Crowd loving it. There's your blocking call.
They're starting to get a little bit physical out there too. We noticed on that last offensive set by Perth, they got very physical there. They chased down a couple of big plays to keep themselves in the play, but there's always going to get a foul called coming pretty soon.
Rob Beveridge furious with Greg Hire on that one. Sticking Crosswell to the line. And he works so hard on the defensive end, and then you foul him at half court on a low percentage play. Send to the line, a good foul shooter for 2 freebies. He struggled at the line tonight. Crosswell, like we said, a career 72% free throw shooters, 0 for 3. 0 for 4.
Perth will get the last shot, 10 seconds on the clock.
Barlow just loses the ball. That's exactly what Perth did not need. A lot of dribbling by Everhard Barlow. They come up empty. 62-51.
He can bonus, occupy.
Welcome back to Perth Wildcats with an uphill battle. Down 62-51. Going into the last quarter in Adelaide. Adelaide already have the 2 previous wins in playing this season already. Ian Shuttleworth working the sideline.
The Sixers feel they have the momentum, and Marty Clark was all about that, saying, let's not lose it. He expects the Wildcats to come out and press. He said, as soon as you get the ball, fellas, expect to be guarded.
Very much so. That quarter was a tale of 2, wasn't it? Perth dominated the first half. Adelaide seemed to refine their rhythm and get back out to that 10, 11-point lead. And what I was impressed with them by, they cut down their turnovers. They're only at 13 now for the game. They only had a couple in that third quarter, so they seem to be adapting a little bit better to that pressure.
See, that's the thing, you know, Perth trying to step it up with the intensity on defense, and, you know, big men way out in the perimeter, you know, in an area where they're not comfortable with, right in front of the referee. That'll get you into the bonus right away, and that's what you don't need when you're trying to come back. Gibson, good hesitation, can't get it to go though. Bartlett.
That's your foul. That is your foul, mate.
I didn't even see it.
Hey, give it. He's gone. That's your foul. Right.
That was very close to being unsportsmanlike.
It was. Adam Gibson behind the play, as we see here, steps up and takes out the legs of Greg Hire.
Yeah, looking at it, it wasn't too bad. I think it was called properly. He got called for a foul. It was definitely his.
Yeah, I think so.
Bartlett. Extra pass going to Redditch. Good strong finish. And Redditch doing his best to keep the Wildcats in this.
Yeah, good strong takes by Sean Redditch in the third quarter and the start of the fourth quarter. Adelaide could probably mix it up how they're guarding him, maybe not come out quite as hard on his shot fake and make him make one from outside. They haven't shot well from outside so far, and probably put him under a bit of pressure out there rather than let him go strong to the bucket.
Gibson has one rim out. Higher. Gibson with the good hands. Redditch lines up his three.
As he knocks down a three on the very next play. Answers my question.
Yeah, no kidding. Sometimes, you know, a score like that doesn't matter. You just got to show a hand and continue to make him hit tough shots. Creek wide open for a reason. Bartlett for three. That's off the mark. Kadee in traffic, able to come out of it. And in a physical game, no one is able to get real physical with him. He's got a knack for it.
Yeah, just his speed as well. He's able to create some space for himself and get himself open.
White, 5-3.
I mean, everybody seems to be getting in tussles in this game, but he doesn't seem to get into them. Probably too hard to catch. He's able to keep that, you know, safe distance. Throws it away. Dunigan. He loses the handle. Good play by Way. Just got right into his rip zone.
See Daniel Johnson. That's where everyone struggles to guard Daniel Johnson, because he can hit that three, but his rip through is so quick, especially if you're a 7-footer trying to guard that. It's so hard to guard.
He's able to do that. We'll be back for the fourth quarter right after this short break.
Flavors.
Well, the Adelaide 36ers trying to come up with a way to close this thing off. One of the things they've got to do is slow down Sean Redditch. And he's got 20. And the Perth Wildcats have scored the last 5 to be down by 6. And just like that, Wildcats get themselves back into the game. Let's see who's in foul trouble as we get into the late stages of regulation. Adam Gibson and Luke Schencher on 4. Daniel Johnson with 3. We're into the fourth quarter, so that's not too big of a deal. Wagstaff, the only Perth Wildcat, on 4 fouls.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to stop Sean Redditch. He is starting to hit his straps here. He is hard to guard. When he's hitting that 3 as well, very hard to guard, and takes it to the bucket. So strong. And at the other end, Daniel Johnson, I can't see Perth being able to stop him if he's going to step out. He's too quick for Dunigan, and then he can post up the smaller guys that Perth are going to chuck at him.
As we said in the opener, Sean Redditch had struggled in the early stages of the season. He didn't start here when the Adelaide 36ers and the Perth Wildcats matched up the first time in this building. And I was talking to Rob Beveridge about it, and I said, you know, that's hard for me to understand. He's just always been that type of guy that's played with such confidence. I couldn't imagine him not playing with confidence.
Yeah, and all the Perth people I'm speaking to, they've just seen that rise the last couple of weeks, especially in his performance. And everyone's really expecting Lish to kick off as well right about now. It's coming towards the middle part of the season, leading in. He's had a couple of good games, and I think his consistency is just going to keep getting better as the season wears on. He knows when it's money time, and he's going to step up too.
Yeah, he's got some cracking stats in the late part of the regular season and in the playoffs. Higher. Trying to get to the rim. Good feed. He can't. Damian Martin can't get the finish, but he cleans it up. Didn't panic at all as he lost control of the ball on that layup.
There's a great back cut there by Damian Martin. Not the best of finishes, slipped out of his hand, but as you said, good composure in there.
Petrie with a bomb. That's off the mark. 0 for 9 outside the three-point line for Adelaide. There's an illegal screen by Sean Redditch. And those are the three-point shooting stats. As I mentioned, 36ers 0 for Sunday afternoon, and the Wildcats not much better at 2 for 18. You know, if you were trying to miss that many shots, you couldn't.
No, both teams would be very disappointed with that. And Sean Redditch getting that foul on that last screen. I don't think Rob Beveridge would be too unhappy with that. Having your big man coming up and trying to set a good screen late in the game to get your guards open, I think you'd be quite happy with that.
I'm surprised he called that a foul.
It didn't really need to be called in the end. I think Jason Kadee was going to get free and be able to create something out of that anyway. If he did fall over, then possibly call it, but otherwise could possibly let that go.
I think in the old days, you know, when a referee blew a whistle and it was late, you were like, that was late, you know? But now everyone understands that the referees are trying to let the game flow and not call everything. So if he falls down, he doesn't lose his balance, you know, not put the offense at a disadvantage, but they are in the bonus too. So you want them to call everything.
Yeah, that's it. Perth, as you said too earlier, trying to come back when the other team is in the bonus is very hard. If you keep fouling, you're giving away 2 easy points in a lot of cases. But that was a great shot there by Lish, wasn't it? Under all sorts of pressure, fading away from range.
Kadee. Johnson trying to use that quickness again. There's the bump, no call. Dunigan pulls down the short effort.
That's just that strength issue again. You got to be able to take that bump there and still be able to get up a decent shot.
Wagstaff putting it on the floor. Stepping through, his reverse layup is good. Wildcats starting to play with some confidence in the 2-point game. There's a technical foul and a flop. Ooh.
I'm not sure if Wagstaff said anything then or if it was just for taking a flop, because they did say that for flops they will start to call some tech fouls on that. Didn't look like he said anything.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a flop. Man, I tell you what, I hope the referees around the league are watching this, because, you know, I'm happy for them, for guys to stop taking flops. But if you can't get a call unless you fall, and guys are out of control and running into you, I'm not saying that he was on that play, but I think if he's going to call it like this, everybody in the league's got to call it like that.
Yeah, and that's a tough time to call it. 5 minutes to go, 2-point game. I mean, to get called on a flop, give the other team 2 shots and the ball.
I mean, to his credit, he did warn these guys not to flop. He told Perth, I believe it was Dunigan, he went over and said something to Rob Beveridge, so he gave them a warning. But I just think, man, we have seen far worse flops around the league that haven't even gotten a warning.
Stevie Ways let him off the hook there as well, missing both free throws, and that could turn right around us. Oh, nice block there by Anthony Petrie on Sean Redditch.
And Redditch, didn't he do himself service by staying under control in traffic on the move? Lish, catch and shoot. He's hot fire. Big shot by Kevin Lish. We're all tied up at 64. Here we go.
Perth with all the momentum too. The last couple of minutes, they've really swung it around.
Dunigan with the long arms, gets his hands in, picks up the steal. Lish against Gibson. Redditch, he finds Damian Martin for the layup. Wildcats, with that aggressive style, have taken the lead.
Wildcats slowly lifting their shooting percentage up to 36%. They've been languishing in those 20s, low 30s for most of the game.
First lead of the game for the Perth Wildcats. Gibson, that's good. The answering bucket on the other end. Adelaide's franchise player getting in the mix. Lish. Down to Dunigan off the mark. Redditch on the offensive glass. He can't get the putback. That'll go to the Adelaide 36ers. Missed opportunity.
Tough on the boards there, wasn't he? Unfortunate to miss the follow-up, but he's getting after it here in the second half.
Redditch has come to play. He's got 20, as we mentioned.
That's what you don't like about Perth when you're in this situation. They have so many avenues that are willing to hit that big shot. You got Lish, you got Redditch. Croswell comes up with a runner from maybe not the right shot under the circumstances.
Lish with a nice pass to Dunigan. He can't score the layup. Dunigan over the top. Missed opportunity by him. Lish gives him an absolute gift, and that's what he does with it. We talked about his lack of touch around the basket.
Very similar game as to the game that was played over in Perth between these two teams a couple of weeks ago. Got right down to the line, close game, and Perth just couldn't get those buckets to drop in the last 3 minutes.
Johnson, a good foul shooter as well. Shoots it at 75% in his career. He drills them both. Adelaide, thanks to Adam Gibson and those free throws, are back on top by 3. Lish. He is a tough cover.
There's that free foul after the play too by Daniel Johnson. But as you said, that's so hard to guard when he's got those quick handles, can hit the 3, take it to the bucket. Adam Gibson pretty up to the task though. He got foul there called for reaching in, but takes him out of the game.
Yeah, that hurts. And he's the one loves that late game stage. He picks up his 5th. He knew it. There's Lish to Redditch. He gets a good look at it from the 3-point line. Comes up short.
Perth relentless on the offensive boards. The last couple of offensive sets just going hard after it and getting rewarded. A couple extra shots at it.
Martin trying to get to the rim. He does. Right over the top. A beeline to the hole, and it's a 1-point game. Perth have all the momentum, down by 1, but they are having no trouble scoring.
Yeah, good strong take there by Damian Martin. He is so athletic when he gets in there. He can take the bump and just elevates off of that 1-foot jump too. Just looking at his right Achilles there, it looks like he's got a little bit of Achilles problem by that tape job. I know I had a similar one with my calves through my latter part of my career, having a very similar tape job to that. So I'd imagine it's his calf Achilles there.
Croswell finds Kadee to Johnson. Shoots it off quick. Long rebound going to Adelaide. Plenty of time left as both teams really start to pick up on the level of play here. Petrie up and under the long arms of Michael Dunigan.
He just got his head and shoulders in front, didn't he? It was enough that Dunigan couldn't come from behind and block him. Good strong take there by Anthony Petrie.
Lish. Hard to stay in front of. A miscue by the Perth Wildcats. Those guys very rarely look rattled. But it's the Adelaide 36ers up by 3. They've hit the big shots down the stretch. We've seen a number of shots hit by Sean Redditch and Kevin Lish. But here in the last couple of minutes, Adelaide have come up with all the answers.
Yeah, they have. They've withstood the charge every single time. They've got that little three-point break now. It's just Damien Martin turned his head. Cameron Tovey was cutting back door on that one, and the pass went astray out of bounds.
Still plenty of basketball left. 1:40 to go. But Adelaide with a three-point lead and the ball. And now you start looking at how many possessions have to happen with the 24-second shot clock. And you have to wonder, whose hands do you want the ball in? Adam Gibson, of course, has 5 fouls. It would have been nice to have the ball in his hands. He's a good foul shooter, good decision maker, and loves the late game stage.
Who would you go to on the Adelaide lineup, Steve? I'd probably go out of the players that are out there. I think Daniel Johnson's probably your most consistent threat, hardest to guard out on the court for Adelaide. And obviously, Lish is the guy I'd probably go to on the Perth lineup.
I think they've had a lot of success at spreading the floor out, keep moving, and then when that matchup comes with Dunigan out on the perimeter, every big man that he's tried to match up on, bar Luke Schencher, has had no trouble getting past him. That's what I'd look to go to.
Yeah, I'd look for Perth. I'd love to see a little two-man game between Lish and Redditch, because you can't help off of one and leave the other one open. And I think they'd do a pretty good tag team out on the wing.
What have you got, Shuts?
Rob Beveridge told his fellas, he said, Way and Johnson, watch them. I don't want to see them taking easy shots.
There you go. Johnson for three.
That is deep. Deep three.
That's a big-time shot by Daniel Johnson. Lish looking to turn the corner, and he's fouled.
Just the confidence he stepped into that shot with, too. A 7', 6'11" guy. Crunch time, stepping into a three and nailing it. That's confidence.
Adelaide hitting the shots down the stretch. We called a game earlier in Sydney where Adelaide hit 6 3-pointers in the fourth quarter to close that one off. Redditch.
It's right around the net. Be careful. Be careful.
2, Damo.
21 blue.
Give up.
That's the 5th foul for Daniel Johnson. Boy, if Perth can get this thing to go into overtime, they're getting rid of some key players.
They are getting rid of some key players. Your 2 big-time players on the team. Now I think they've got to go to Stevie Way. He's got to step up in crunch time. That's what they're paying him the big bucks for. We want to see players like him step up. Petrie as well. I think it's a good avenue at this stage of the game.
Damian Martin with some big free throws here. Second one's off the mark. And that's a foul on Sean Redditch. Desperate to get an offensive rebound.
Great block out there by Anthony Petrie on the rebound. He just kept backing into Sean Redditch, forced him to have to foul to try and get around him.
And now, even if this thing goes into overtime, Perth Wildcats without their best weapon, Sean Redditch, fouls out with 5. And Perth look extremely small.
They do, don't they? Obviously, Dunigan's still in there, but small other than that. And they've got to just spread the court here and try and take it off the dribble.
Rob Beveridge looking for a timeout on a made free throw. Trying to orchestrate some late game magic. 1:10 to go here in Adelaide. 36ers, as Brett Maher said, coming up with all the answers to make this 3 in a row over the Perth Wildcats this year. Perth, one of the top teams in the competition. Up on the ladder, sitting in second spot at 7-3. And about to be 7-4, unless they can come up with a couple of miracles. I know there's a lot of time on the clock, but it's amazing. 7-4 and 4 they'll go to, and 3 of the losses to the Adelaide 36ers.
It's weird, isn't it? Adelaide on 5-5, sitting 5th on the ladder. Just one of those teams that they match up well against.
Yes, they do. Rob Beveridge and Marty Clark both with the whiteboards out.
You'd imagine Marty Clark going through their press break quite extensively here, how they're going to attack it, get it down the court without coughing it up, and either getting fouled and going to the line for 2 or getting some easy buckets.
I'm always amazed that when the coaches get the whiteboard out, haven't you gone through all that stuff, not just that week in training, but haven't you gone through all these situations in training anyway?
You would think so. I think the main time at this stage of the game is just telling people specifically where they're going to be within those sets that they've gone through. It may change under certain circumstances, and as we were talking about before the game, some people are very visual, so they need to see it drawn down as well. At different stages, it helps just to reinforce what's going to be done in the next couple of plays.
Yeah, because you sure don't want 4 guys doing one thing and 1 guy doing another. Lish. Oof. Martin pulls down a rebound somehow in traffic. Dunigan gets a nice pass from Damian Martin, and this thing is not over.
Damian Martin, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league, especially for a small guard. To be able to get the boards that he gets, he does a great job there. And that was a tough shot by Lish, a fadeaway coming out.
Good foul shooters we've seen so far. Got a nice stroke from the foul line. It's his touch around the basket that's questionable.
Yeah, very much so. That's a really nice looking free throw there under pressure, just stepping up.
Handy afternoon. He knocks down both free throws. He's got 11 points and 10 rebounds. Kadee gets it ahead to Schenscher. Good decision to slow it down. Jason Kadee is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Good decision by Luke Schenscher to quickly get it back to Kadee as well. Perth are obviously going to foul now to get themselves back into this game, and Kadee's probably a better free throw shooter at this stage of the game than Luke Schenscher.
And really, less than a minute to go, you're not really feeling a whole lot of pressure. If you're a decent foul shooter, it's different. You're down 2, and there's no time on the clock.
So we see a little tightness there in Kadee's shoulders as he steps into that one. But yeah, as you said, it's a kind of free points at this stage of the game. You can really relax and just build on the lead you've already got.
And he rattles the second one in, 1 out of 2. And that's the thing, too. You're sitting with a lead. If you make 1 out of 2, it's not the end of the world either. Higher, that looks straight and good. Greg Higher, catch and shoot, did not hesitate in the situation of the game.
Gets it back to a 3-point game. Adelaide have to get out on the 3-point shooters.
And just like that, just cuts the lead right in half. Plenty of time left. Not only did he knock it down, he didn't waste any time doing it. Perth weren't allowed to make a substitution. Petrie having trouble getting it in. Gets it to Way. He'll try and run some clock off. They got to get it over the timeline. They just do. It's in a trap area. It's Kadee. Jump ball. That's a huge play.
Big play. Perth will get the ball too as we swap it over.
Plenty of time. They don't even have to rush a shot. They don't have to go for a 3.
Now, Kadee, unfortunately, dribbled straight into a trapping zone and then picked the ball up. Not great when you know you're going to be chased down and trapped in these circumstances.
Lish for 3. Kevin Lish bangs down the 3. We're all tied up at 77.
That's a tough 3 to draw the game with 27 to go.
And wow, the Perth Wildcats make up 6 points in a hurry. Greg Higher for a bomb. Kevin Lish for an in-your-face 3. And after not being able to throw a rock into the ocean from the end of a pier, they've been able to knock down big shots when it counts.
Well, we thought this was over, didn't we? We were talking it up as if Adelaide will win, but Perth is the sort of team that you just can't write off. They've got so many avenues, and Lish is so dangerous at this part of the game.
Man, I'm kind of hoping for some overtime. This game just started to get good.
They're hitting the big ones.
Hitting the big ones, and now it's tied up. Now we start to talk about the key players that have fouled out as Lish delivers that one. That never looked like missing. He just drills that thing. And you have it. Adam Gibson is there. He does not make a three. He would not have let him get a good look at that.
He does not get that shot off. No. Adam Gibson is going to be up in his face, making him take it to the bucket. At best, a two-point play. They're still in front. Now it's a completely different game where the ball game is tied.
And those are the things you got to be thinking about as a player if you're guarding a weapon like that. Kevin Lish, they're down 3. A 2 is what you make him hit. A 3, you got to run him off the line. Make him put it on the floor.
Big-time players hit the big-time shots. Kevin Lish, he's only got 9 points for the game, but some big clutch shots, and that's what the big players do. They come to play at the money stage of the game.
And don't forget that assist he handed off to Dunigan, but he couldn't finish the playoff. The late game stages, you want it in his hands. MVP last year, MVP of the finals, his rookie season. He is a straight-up hooper. Petrie on the mismatch. He's got Martin on his back. He needs help. He spins to the middle, loses possession of the ball. Jump ball will go now to the 36ers.
I would have liked to see Adelaide clear that side of the court when you've got Petrie with a small guy on his back. They're running players over towards him and just cramping it up for him. Just didn't give him room to operate down low. They would have been much better off just to clear that side of the court and let him go to work.
Rothwell comes out. Mitch Creek comes in for him. Baseline out of bounds. This is the most difficult area to defend.
4 seconds on the shot clock.
Way. Got nowhere to go. He shoots it. It looks good. Martin. Higher. Gets one off.
We got overtime.
We are going into overtime. Perth Wildcats make a stunning comeback to get this thing tied up at 77. OT, baby. We'll be back. Luke Schenscher on 4. These are the guys that you have to watch. And 5 minutes is a long time on 4 fouls.
We see Luke Schenscher, if he gets fouled out of the game, all of a sudden Adelaide are going to be looking very small too. They'll have to go with Petrie in the 5 and slide Stevie way up into the 3, into the 4.
Alternating possessions. Remember, Adelaide benefited from that jump ball that went to them for that last play. Lish putting it on the floor. Of course, he knocks down the 3. Gets Stephen way up on his toes. He has to get up on his toes.
Has to. After that last shot that just got hit on him, he couldn't do much better than that. That is such a tough ask to guard, Kevin Lish, at this stage of the game.
And as you said, this is a quiet game for Lish. And when they need him most, he's delivered. As I was just getting that out, he's missed a free throw. Those are his numbers, just 9 points. Now he's in double figures. But those 10 points don't have any indication on how much of an influence he's been on this game.
Yeah, very much so. Even at the defensive end, he creates so much problems there as well. He's one of those guards that just gets up and in, makes nothing easy.
Stephen way off the mark as Lish slipped and hit the floor. And those are the guys that are in foul trouble. Well, eliminated from the game is Adam Gibson, Daniel Johnson, Sean Redditch, and Wagstaff. We left him out. Those are the guys on 4, Schenscher and Dunigan. Lish gets one off.
Oh, that is
my goodness.
That came out the side of his hand, off balance, fade away. That's a huge three.
The silent assassin delivers once again. Kevin Lish.
I don't know how that could have gone in. He was fading away. All off balance.
Schenscher backs down Dunigan and shoots the hook over the top. Lish in attack mode. No call. Dunigan with the offensive rebound. He hits the floor hard.
Adelaide with numbers now. Dunigan slow to get back.
Rob Beveridge wondering what happened down there to his big man. Kadee goes to the line. Cam Tovey foul. Adelaide had numbers, and Kadee was turned the corner. You know, his last 3 free throws have all looked different.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? Just looks a little bit tight at the moment when he's going up.
That one comes up short. A couple of guys that would knock down free throws normally have struggled for Adelaide. Lish creates space for himself. Tovey. And if that was a flop.
That has to be a flop, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to call it. Great pass to Dunigan, trying to create some space.
That's a tough move. With his non-preferred left hand, too. Taking it up tough.
And even though that one went in, that wasn't soft either. It hit the rim and the backboard at the same time. We'll get another look at that. And it's a flop. I mean, you know, like, if you're going to call that early, I sure don't want to see 2 in possession in the late stages. But that's inconsistent.
It is. And that's what players get frustrated with, is when you see inconsistencies, you just don't know how it's going to get called. They call it 1 second and they're not going to call it the second. They have to call that one, even though you don't want it overtime. You don't want the game decided on a flop. But you just got to be consistent.
Dunigan gets another good roll. And Adelaide looking down the barrel of being down by 5 and turn one over. Well, Damian Martin with a deflection.
Adelaide with 3 players fouled out now. Luke Schenscher obviously getting his 5th.
Pero Vasiljevic in the game for Adelaide. Petrie with the runner. Tough shot off the left-hand glass shot. Man, that's good. Backs down to 3. Plenty more basketball. Lish has been dynamite. Loses the handle. Tovey lines up a 3. That rims out. Dunigan chases down the rebound.
Adelaide, if they're going to win this, have to get those rebounds. Have to block out, chase down the boards.
Lish will just run down some clock and try and take Creek. Splits the D, pull-up jump shot.
Tough shot there. Good split to get Kevin Lish open.
Fouls on Petrie. I think the whole building thought it was on Dunigan. Watch Dunigan go to the glass. And he did push him.
We'll see how Michael Dunigan performs under pressure from the line.
Cash money. It looked like that short one that bounced in was his bad one.
Yeah, definitely. He's got real good form and good extension, good follow through. Good rotation of the ball. Looks good.
And he's put some numbers together. He's got 16 points and 13 rebounds.
Nice pass there by Vasiljevic to the cutting Petrie.
Just like that, Adelaide get a quick score. A lot of standing around for the Perth Wildcats. They're banking on this matchup between Lish and Creek. You got to sell that.
He did a good job, didn't he? A little bit of contact there, sold it well, and he's going to go to the line, and you'd bank on him making two here, Steve.
You sure would. Boy, Lish has had his hand in just about every play. Late in the fourth quarter and here in the overtime. It's one of those Perth Wildcats. Those are his numbers there. 14 points, a couple of rebounds, and an assist. Timeout. The Adelaide 36ers down by 5 have been finding the answers all night in keeping the lead and then staying in the game. Been able to get some quick scores here in the overtime just to keep themselves close. And this next possession is huge.
Very much so. It's just they're running out of scorers, aren't they? They've got probably their 3 main scorers for the year all out of the game in foul trouble.
Boy, if this one slips away from the Adelaide 36ers, they'll be earmarking that one as, man, that was one we should have had. And then that gap between them and the Sydney Kings and the top 4 teams just gets, you know, in this competition, you know, we talk about it, you don't want to have too much of a gap, and we've always said that, but it's really hard to string 2 or 3 together with how even the comp is.
It is, and Townsville now have turned their game around. They've just got a couple of wins as well. There's no easy markdown wins in the league anymore. Unfortunately, in the past, you probably could have chalked a couple of teams up. We'll easy get those ones and move along, but this year it's so close again. Can't do it.
And you look at the Melbourne Tigers, and you figure they're going to erupt on somebody too. Johnny Flynn really hasn't gotten it going for the Tigers as of yet, and Seth Scott's a very capable player, so you would imagine that they get it going at the, you know, in Melbourne, or they get it going on the road. They're not going to be a team that you can just say, all right, we'll pick up a win in Melbourne, or we got the Tigers coming in town. Let's chalk one up there too.
Yeah, true.
Petrie loses it. Ball still loose. A lot of contact. No call.
A lot. Same referee, and that's probably caused all the controversy tonight. It's been the same guy every time.
Offensive foul by Jason Kadee.
He's 3 on the line.
Trying to soak up the atmosphere there. I figured someone was going to say something. We're going to hear it on the referee's mic.
Kadee thought he was pushed in the back there. Turned out not the best shot, probably a little off balance trying to flip it up. Didn't get close. Adelaide need to get a couple of buckets, down by 5 with 1:11 to go.
Thought he did a good job of getting to the gap, but then when the defense came, you know, what they needed a real duck. Let's get one to go down, a high percentage shot. Bartlett. And he'll bring it up. Crowd want to travel. Crowd want anything. Lish just taking time off the clock. Here comes a double team. He steps through. Higher. Shoots a tough one. Ball's loose down there. Gets to Adelaide. Still a lot of game left. Ooh. Way throws it upstairs to Vasiljevic. He can't come up with it.
Got the play there by Way to try and chuck it to Vasiljevic, who's been, in his defence, sitting down for most of the game. He probably should have just pulled up for a little 6-footer there. He's the marquee player out on the court for the Adelaide 36ers. He needs to be the one taking the shot.
Good point. Good point. You know, when you're a young player and you're on the court and you look around and you see, you know what, I need to step up and knock down some shots. You recognize that right away. And very good point. Steve Way, he was the guy that needed to pull up and knock down that shot. Gallant effort by the Perth Wildcats. Shooting the basketball poorly. Just hanging in there with their D. Loose ball goes to Creek for the jam.
Oh, my. What a finish on the break.
Wow.
He is going to be exciting in that dunk comp, Steve. He's got to be careful with that foul, too. That nearly could have been construed as an intentional foul there.
I'm not quite sure what part of the ball he played on that one. I mean, you know, I don't like two in possession when you're fouling somebody and there's no danger of them being hurt. Sometimes you're in a fouling situation. Call it like that.
Yeah.
But the way it's interpreted, like he could have called unsportsmanlike, and then it would game just been over.
Yeah. Lish has just stepped up in the last quarter and overtime taking his tally up to 18.
Petrie going hard. Pero on the offensive glass, can't get it to go.
17-1-7.
Martin goes to the line. He tried to offload it to Lish straight away. It was just cash from the foul line.
Anthony Petrie now out of the game also, Adelaide. Losing all of their senior players here, going deep into the bench.
Martin missing them both. Creek leaning in. Martin again with the rebound, and Perth will just take some time off the clock, and that'll be it. Perth Wildcats, stubborn as always, looking right down the throat of another defeat to the Adelaide 36ers. But no, hung in there and got one in overtime, 91-85 over the Adelaide 36ers, and they will win the Catalini Cup because it's determined on this game and not on the series.
Yeah, they did so well, didn't they? Just salvaging a win there out of the depths of defeat. Just so tough under pressure.
Sean Redditch came up big. And this man came up big as well with shots.
He certainly did, Kevin Lish. As far as comebacks go, that's one of the best.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, it was a tough game. It was kind of a sludge fest. Felt like we were running through mud, but, you know, we stuck with it, hit some shots, and kept our composure at the end.
Talk about composure. There were some big names, some quality players fouled out with trouble on that front, but you, in the end, just run the show.
Yeah, there were a lot of people falling out everywhere, and you know, fortunately in overtime we were able to hit some shots, and you know, credit to them.